I realized that my dad was developing dementia. Memory loss, difficulty finding words, difficulty reasoning or problem solving. Basically, all those symptoms really had an impact on me. It messed with my head a lot, and it really impacted my self esteem. So I was in a desperate spot, and I really needed God to come through. Um, and eventually, one day, I had social media at the time. Um, and, as the pandemic was coming and people were getting bored, I spent more time on Instagram, just going live, interacting with new people, making videos, all that stuff. And one day after going live, um, a very sweet person invited me to a prayer call with them, with a group of them. And initially, I was so nervous. I was so scared. Like, I couldn't even press the join button. I ended up getting on this prayer call, and kid y'all not, I was up until 4 a.m. And it wasn't just because of like antics or whatever. Like, I really met God in that moment, and it's like his embrace was so strong that I was just done for. I was done for. I really was. And the people that I met on this prayer call, they were incredible. Like, God knew that I needed them. It was a month after my father had like officially passed. Um, and so it was hard. Like, he passed in 2020, and it's struggle street. God was really teaching me who I was, and he was showing me that I was prophetic, and not only that, but I was his. Like, I was his child. They helped me through a period of grief. Like, they helped me through a period of feeling weak and confused. Like, they reminded me what God said about me, and just how much he loved me. And, the process was hard, and I'm still recovering, but by God's grace, I ended up being able to graduate as the valedictorian of my high school. And it was only by his grace, because I wasn't even in an emotional spot to do work for real, especially during the pandemic. So, of course, my graduation, like I was mentioning, was bittersweet because my dad couldn't be there because he had already passed in 2020, and I graduated in 2021. But God allowed me to have like a scholarship to college. And when I got to college, I was scared that I was going to be alone, but I met an amazing community of people. I'm a part of an amazing church family over in South Florida. Greenhouse fam, I love y'all. But the campus ministry that I'm a part of, they are incredible. They support me as an individual, and they give me a chance to grow as a leader. And of course, I've had to unpack a lot. I've spent a lot of days crying and praying, and just trying to figure out how to recover, and how to properly grieve the loss of my father. But I've come to know who God is through that. Like, because of the moments where I've lacked peace, I've grown to see that God is my peace. Like, for the moments that I was hurting, I've seen God as a healer. Through the moments that I was just confused, I saw God as the one that brings clarity. So for every difficult time that I've been through, God has just shown himself and proved himself over and over and over. So as much as I hate, or as much as I hated at the time, going through the process of grief and hurting and losing people, and just feeling insecure about everything, I was able to really gain the gift of who Jesus was, like who Christ was, to me. And I just wish that everybody would be able to experience God in that way. A lot of people resent God for things that they have to go through, but I feel like in a lot of those hard times, it's just that God wants to prove himself. And so in those moments, if you're dealing with anything and your heart is hard toward God, or like you just find yourself being angry, just bring it to him. Like, literally run to him, throw it at his feet. Like, I guarantee you, God will be okay with you fussing at him for a moment, if that's what you have to do to figure out who God is. Like, yes, it's frustrating to be in lack sometimes. It's frustrating to feel like you don't have enough, but it forces you to depend on him. And so, if nothing else, depend on God. That's all I can say. Like, my testimony has taught me to depend on him, because all that I think that I have is not all that I really have. I have him. And so all the worldly things, okay. But like, if I seek first his kingdom, and his righteousness, and I really put that kingdom like in the forefront of my mind, then everything else will be added. Everything that I need, the things that I want, the things that align with his desires, like all that will be taken care of. So God is great. That was my testimony video. I'm probably going to end up making another one, just talking about smaller situations, or if you guys want story times about anything, or if you know anyone who is dealing with dementia and you kind of want to know about my experience, you can put it in the comments. You can message me on Instagram. All my socials are going to be on the outro. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again soon.